Oh, just making a test video down there. Microphone touch. Just wanted to see if there's any kind of difference. So anyway, I'll make a video about something. So that concordance guy, I'd like to have the microphone out of the picture, down there maybe. That concordance guy made a video. The Magic Sandwich Show. So 35 minutes into the third segment of. Anyway, so somebody brought up the whole life in space thing. And so the concordance guy, who's like some kind of professional biology guy, like really educated guy, basically says, yeah, there's microbes in the universe, intelligent life, but oh yeah, there's microbes, fine. It's just, and his argument is the same old cruddy argument, I think, which is life showed up on Earth very quickly. You know, as soon as it could, it showed up, and that's like not rational. I mean, it's just not a rational proof. I mean, it's bad enough that we don't have one sample, but now you're going based on when you rolled snake eyes. Now it depends on what order the number came up in the permutations of the rolls of the dice kind of thing, and because it showed up early, that means something? You know, come on. This doesn't mean anything either. I mean, this is just breaking the probability math. I mean, it's just these are not things they should be doing, okay? Because this is stuff I learned in high school. You can't do this. You can't draw these kind of conclusions from this kind of nothing evidence. And the evidence I think that's really telling is the evidence from this planet right here, okay? And the fact that there's not competing life forms. So if it happens so easy, why wouldn't something in those early primal days show up? Something a little different than our DNA. And they would end up in a symbiotic relationship, as most relationships end up. You know, parasitic at first, maybe they'd fight with each other. But it seems probable if life was easy, if it happens easily, that something else would have shown up before the life forms evolved to cover the entire planet, and before those first experiments really took hold, before they really had a grasp. And that some other DNA replicator, some other replicator, would have showed up if replicating was something that happens often or easily. And you could still argue that even with the changed biosphere, that everything has radically been changed by life on Earth. It's created the biosphere. It's created a new atmosphere, essentially. But even in this new world we've created, there's all kinds of different environments. There's volcanic vents. There's all kinds of environments. And in none of these environments that are isolated from the DNA life forms that live here, they're sterile environments on planet Earth, where just a bunch of decomposed life exists. Why doesn't any of this stuff arise in any of those other energetic, energy-rich environments? And I think the answer is self-evident. When you add it up with the fact that we can't even make one of these things. We can't figure out how to combine a DNA molecule with the important thing that reads it. I mean, it's like inventing the record, right? The DNA molecule is the record, but if you don't have the record player, you don't have anything that matters. Without the player, you got nothing. And so this whole replicating thing is a lot more complicated than just having a piece of chemistry. And the whole idea, too, that the DNA molecule in its initial form was likely not even a blueprint. It was just a mechanical processor. It just said, let's make some things happen. And then eventually one of the things that happened was dividing the molecule into two pieces and creating a new cell that also divided the molecule into two pieces. And then it became a reservoir for information. Then it became the blueprint. Okay, but before that, it was just a mechanical, wasn't the same kind of blueprint. It was more of a, what's the way to put it? It was more of a processor. It was more of a doer than a recorder. It had more of a role in causing directly things to happen rather than having an environment where all the things that it made happen basically just had to do with recording events and forcing events in a sequence. But either way, it's just and the huge complexity that life is built out of. At any one stage, you miss one little thing doesn't happen, and there's no future of bogus. And it does seem a really important philosophical question to resolve one way or the other. It seems these people should exercise there should be an exhaustive argument based on all of these logical arguments to come up with some sort of rational truth here, rather than all this hokey pokey. Everybody just makes up their own bullshit based on something stupid. I think it's just stupid for big brainy scientists with PhD after their name and shit to be using nonsense arguments like philosophies are inherited and because life showed up early on planet Earth, it means it happens all the time. This isn't good enough, scientists. Really, I mean, I'm a high school graduate, and I know that isn't good. I know it's not good enough. That's a bad argument. You gotta do better than that, buddy. I worked at NASA and shit, and all this crap, all this fucking high tech, brilliant science bullshit, and to sit there and pull shit like that out of your ass. Because it happened early, it proves it's easy. Bullshit. It didn't prove a damn thing. Especially when it only happened once. Can't tell nothing from one event. Can't. And what you can tell from the circumstantial fact that there's not another one somewhere in 4 billion years, nothing else has shown up and said, I'm here and I can play this game too, sort of indicates that maybe they play too much. Probability. People just don't understand probability. There is no such thing. There's no such thing as probability. There's inevitability. And all we can do is try to understand the variability of imagined, could have been. But there really isn't such. There is no probability. There's no random. Something happening does have a. There is probability in the sense that the dice do dictate the inevitability, but there's no such thing as randomness that makes the dice rolls the way they come out. And what makes them come out the same variables are consistent. Okay, so it's only because we know that the variables that we don't know are consistent that we know these outcomes. And so here we have the argument is that we know the consistency here is that biological experiments were conducted billions and gazillions of times in this primordial sea, and if it was an arrangement of matter replicating, if this replicating thing would have happened easily, and a lot, and enough where it would have done the same thing living things on the planet do now. Living things on the planet right now, organism doesn't take over the whole planet, does it? Well, so far it hasn't. In 4 billion years, one organism hasn't taken. If the replicator showed up, it would probably find a way to survive in the environment that exists. Yeah. If it didn't just eat the DNA. Maybe it's not DNA based and we just eat DNA. Huh? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, be out of luck. But at least it wouldn't matter because then at least you wouldn't we can deduce that. Unlikely as getting trapped inside of a diamond. Yeah, what's the odds against that one? So let's see. My voice more superior now? I think I liked it with echo. I'll put the echo back on. Echo? Is the echo there? Hello? Echo? I don't hear it. Damn, I lost it. It's gone. Testing. Uh-oh. Microphone's not working. Yeah, it's working. Alright. I'll have to preview this video. I'll have to figure out how to use my computer somehow. Anyway, till next time.